Hey. What do you say? Welcome back to another episode of the One It's All podcast. I am your 6'8" host, Jake Heffelfinger. Your ears could have been anywhere in the world right now. 3 million plus podcasts out there, and you have chosen to let me in those ears. I can't be more grateful for that. For choosing me at this current moment in your life to listen to. I'm honored, flattered, and honestly, I don't know if I can live up to the hype. I hope I hope this isn't too big of a waste of time for you. I'm just grateful for it, you know. I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for showing up. Just grateful, man. One It's All on Instagram, oneitall.buzzsprout.com, available anywhere you get your podcasts. Do me a favor, comment, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, download all the episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Support the show. Big things coming. Big things coming. 40th episode's coming up. And it makes me really think, because this is technically a hobby, right? It's not anything crazy. It's something I've always wanted to do. And I decided to do it with no fear. I mean, I was terrified making these things, putting myself out there. I think the first couple episodes that I made, and I hear it in my voice, and if you've listened to anything, you could hear it too. I was literally pouring sweat when I was done recording, and they weren't even long episodes. So like I had to take a shower after each one. I was just pouring sweat. Just from fear and anxiety and just beyond out of my comfort zone. But you know what? It turned out to be one of the coolest things I've ever tried, because I love this. I love this, and I hope it comes across like that. I hope you guys can tell my enthusiasm for growing this thing, my enthusiasm for just talking, communicating with y'all, and hopefully giving y'all something interesting to listen to. If I made you laugh or giggle at all, I'm happy about that. If I made you think, I'm happy about that. The reason why I bring that up is because I feel like the first step is the key to anything. You can't, that second or third and fourth, fifth, 20th, 30th domino does not fall without the first one. It's all about that first step. And I'm going to read you something about taking that first step. If you're wanting to start a podcast, if you're wanting to start a new job, if you're wanting to dive into something that you have a passion for, if you're wanting to dive in, it's all about that first step. I always get a little out of breath, a little anxious when I first start an episode, just because you just go. At least that's the way I do it. Now, I'm gonna read this to you real quick, so bear with me. Public school system, don't fail me now. Are you hesitant to take the first step because you're worried it could be the wrong one? Most likely the first step won't be in exactly the ideal direction, but that's no reason to worry. Don't worry, because it's just the first step. You will learn from it and then be able to take a much more experienced and informed step on the next one. You're not going to make a perfect start. Nobody does. Nonetheless, you must make a start if you're going to get anything done. You got to start. So go ahead and get it over with. Whether it works well or whether it doesn't, it gets you moving. The more you act, the more effective each action will become. Get the process started and get that upward spiral in motion. Make the first step as good as you can. Just do whatever you can. Just try. And don't fret if it's not perfect. Let it get you started, and you'll find you can handle it very well from there, and then you can continue to grow. I dig that. First step is everything. Just go for it. Go for it. I challenge you to. Do something this week that you've been wanting to do. Just take a small step. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If there's something that's always like, oh, I wanted to try that, do it, man. Watch that next domino fall, because you might take you in a whole different direction. Because if you're like me, I'm an overthinker by nature. I'm always having these random thoughts. Brain's just swirling and swirling, and I never seem to get things done, so I've been trying to do more lists and writing down. That's been a challenge in itself. So I got to be transparent. I'm actually thinking about doing therapy again here soon. I did therapy last year for a few months. Took a break while I was at a good spot. Thinking about picking it up again. Just so much new things in my life. And for y'all that don't know, I've started my own real estate business. So if you're ever in Tennessee or need anybody referenced, I got a good network of people. Please do not hesitate to hit me up. DM me on One It's All on Instagram. Message me any way you can. I can help getting that off the ground. Working hard to figure out the podcasting. Venturing off in different areas, helping where I can, just trying to learn new things. It's a lot to embrace. It's a lot to accept. New is always difficult. But I feel like it makes everything more interesting. So I'm thinking about contacting my therapist again, just sparking things back up again, just to make sure I'm heading in the right direction from an unbiased source. I'm all for therapy. I don't see anything wrong with it. The stigma around it is ridiculous. I feel like it's good to vent and talk to somebody that doesn't know you, that can help you. Mental health is one of the most important things in the world. It really is. If you got something to say or get things off your chest, in a way, this podcast has been good for me like that because it gives me an avenue to vent or to put things out there, to put a thought out there. Helps me be a better conversationalist. I hope. I hope I'm getting better, man. I hope. If you want to be on the show, hit me up. We can have a talk. I love having open conversation. But taking that first step is literally what it's all about. So my therapist is about to get hit up. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't want to hit up the anxiety route again because I've struggled with that in the past with the anxiety and depression and everything. And it just doesn't make things easier, especially when you're an overthinker like I am. You just got to kind of quiet it down. But I encourage everybody to do it. I do it. I think I dig it. Like, doing it remotely on the computer is a little different speed. I prefer to be in the office with the ambiance and you just sitting in there, just one-on-one conversation that's how I prefer to do it. So I'm thinking about doing that again. We'll see where that goes. Got to do what you got to do for your mental health, man. You got to do what you got to do. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of just prescribing things too. I feel if you really want to... Now, one thing I will tell you, my experience. If you're thinking about doing therapy, or if you're wondering if it's something you should do, my one main thing, if you want to be successful at it and make it worth your while, you have to be open-minded. You have to want to go in there and just know you're going to have to talk about some shit. You're going to have to open up. You're going to have to want to hear things. You're going to have to be vulnerable. Because if you don't want to and you're hesitant or you're worried that the therapist is going to do some whatever insanity you might think. Now, I'm not saying there's not bad people like that out there. I'm just saying you have to go in wanting to do it. If you're forced to do it, you're not going to want to do it. Watch Good Will Hunting. That motherfucker didn't want nothing to do with Robin Williams. And by the end of the movie, they were hugging, making me cry, giving each other great one-liners. It was great. What a good movie. Nothing wrong with it, man. Nothing wrong with it. Therapy, therapy, therapy. I encourage it. Right now, we're about to hit that summer vibe or spring into summer. And allergies are kicking my ass. This allergy thing here, especially here in Tennessee, is no joke. Born and raised in Florida, never had any issues with allergies. I've had 3 attacks this past week. My eye was dripping. I've never had that happen before. I've had to get a steroid shot. I don't know what's going on, but the allergies here are nuts because it shot up to 70-something degrees. And I can't breathe. I was leaving the gym, just couldn't breathe. Just it's awful. Just constant nose stuffiness is constant. If the thing that drives me crazy about allergies is when I first moved here, I burned a lot of sick days thinking I was sick, and it was just allergies. It's so hard to tell because they feel like, and allergies just drain you. They wear you down. So for me, it was hard to decipher that, and I would be like, I'm sick. How did I get sick again? The only way I've really been able to tell the difference, and the key to everything between is the boogers, the boogie oogies, snot, mucus. If it's green colored or just any kind of color to it, it's usually you got a cold from what I can tell. So this week I was just blowing crystal clear. So I'm assuming it's allergies. And then when I talk to people, they tell me it's allergies as well. So that made me feel a little bit better. But I can't stand those things. I think that's what drove me to therapy was allergies. It's just, they're awful. They're just awful. Can't breathe, can't sleep. Snot's just going from one nose to the other. You have a second where you can breathe. You're like, oh, and then your whole face is stuffy. And then I found out, too, that it makes me kind of irritable. Don't want to talk on the phone as much. It's hard to stay focused on things. That's how bad it's been for me. Thank God for Zyrtec, Claritin, all those allergy pills. It is part of my daily repertoire now. You guys struggling with them, too? Never had an issue. I heard Tennessee, it's extra tough here with the pollen and everything. It's just crazy. I saw that like 44% of the population has allergies. That's crazy. It's just a bunch of people suffering. Allergies are your body's reaction to normally harmless substances such as pollen, molds, animal dander, latex, certain foods, and insect stings. Allergy systems range from mild, rash or hives, itchiness, runny nose, watery eyes, to life-threatening issues. They literally are the worst. I'm surprised. Right now we're all good. Right now we are all good. Allergies on top of me with that damn mouth guard that I got to sleep with now for the sleep apnea. It's been challenging. It's been fun. It's been a hoot. It's been a hoot. Can't breathe out of the mouth. Like, having bad dreams, man. Bad dreams. It's brutal. This first night, I hate a runny nose. When your nose gets all irritated, it's just running down my face. I hope you guys aren't suffering with them. It's bad right now. It's that time of year where it's getting hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. What do you do? Claritin, baby. I like Zyrtec. I don't know if you guys use Zyrtec, but I use Zyrtec. Zyrtec's good stuff. On top of that, man, it's just how bad are things right now? There's no football during the weekend. I mean, this is always the part that takes more getting used to than anything. There's just no football. I miss at least you have something to do on a Sunday, like stupid wise. I mean, I know everybody likes football, but it seems to be like a guy's thing. Like all my buddies and everything, they had something to do on Sundays, gave them a reason to. Now it's just honeydew season. I keep hearing that. Oh, I got my honeydew list. Get your balls back, man. It's a list that you have to do, not honeydew. No football, man. But they're starting. They're trying to, not the XFL, but there's another D League and a football season starting this summer. So we'll see if that can hold us over. Baseball. Does anybody really care about baseball? Like, seriously, the first two series, because of the lockdown, because of the collective bargaining agreement, the first two series of the season, which is essentially like the first 2 weeks, opening day and everything has been snipped. Snipped. You are not fertile. You cannot make snipped. 2 weeks in a sport that I don't know how these players make so much money. It's got to be the TV deals. Because to me, baseball is at least, it's got a wide fan base. I get that. But in terms of excitement, revenue, all that kind of stuff, I don't know how it keeps holding like that. I like fantasy baseball. Fantasy baseball is fun. It's the closest fantasy that I can come to game where it feels like you're running your own team because you can do stuff like every day. Will baseball, it's going to play, but the players have already been bitching about wanting to have shorter seasons, and here you go. Here you go. I can't imagine it's good for the game, regardless of what happens. Regardless of what happens. When they start back up, it'll be the biggest thing for about a week or two. Then you'll dive into it, and then it'll be like game 70, game 80, game 90. Then people will start paying attention again if they realize their team is in the hunt. Now, one thing I will say about baseball, it's a very, especially if the weather's nice or if you're in a dome, it's a very nice game to just hang out and watch. There's a lot going on if you know the ins and outs, but it doesn't have that ultimate excitement level. That's why they just, whatever they're doing with these home runs, just keep it going. Because without the home runs, it would be the ultimate boring sport. I personally like the little statistics, ins and outs, and all that kind of stuff, but not everybody's into that. There's a fly in here. Get away from my shell. Will baseball come back? Will baseball come back? And do you care? I mean, really, do you care? It's crazy. Now, mind you, I'm from a city that has one of the lowest payrolls in baseball, and yeah, we do really well. Go Rays. But they might be moving. And then there's bids here in Nashville where I've heard they're talking about getting a major league team, so who knows? I don't know how you can expand a league when you can't even play baseball because you guys can't agree on anything. I feel like player salaries need to be less. But entertainment business, that's where the money's at, man. I feel like there's got to be a way. I wish there was anyway, where some of the profits from each league, with all that money they make, when all that revenue that they produce, could somehow, through a foundation, through something, be funneled into public services, teaching like all the basics, firefighting, police, anything that helps with the community. Just, I feel like if you could have a way to pipeline that out, there could be something there. Now, I don't know what the behind the scenes is, because I'm as big as a sports fan as they get. I am. Like, I live and breathe it. I love it. I follow stats. I follow everything. But I'm not stupid. That's a lot. There's a lot of funds in there for just playing a game. I feel like if there's a way to do it, they can be done. And it's only going to make the sports that you want to talk about getting more intertwined into a community. All the profits, all the salaries, like certain percentages of athletes gets funneled into like whatever city that they're in, their educational system, their school system. Let's have less dumb people. Less dumbness. Can we please? Like, I'm seeing shit where they're making jokes about, oh, we have a crush on the Ukrainian president, because they're making jokes about a war. This is a war. This isn't a reality show on Netflix. This is a war, and they're making stupid shit comments like that when people are dying. Come on, man. Dumb. And if that's you, I mean it. I meant it. Dumb, 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 dumb. It's crazy. So between that, better policing, funnel more money into that, make that more of an incentive, the military, all that kind of stuff, intertwined. Baseball would sell out. Same with the NBA. Instead of them crying about their fashion and traveling and doing all that stuff, funnel this money, man. Funnel this money. Entertainment. Funnel this money. We just, you know. What's really depressing to me in a way is I really feel like that's something that could be done, but they'll never do it. They'll never do it. Donate your money, man. Help out. Get it instead of bitching and for politics and all that kind of stuff, because politicians are not leaders, man. They could be, but your average politician is just going to go with the grain, whatever is working to get them votes. I've said it once. I said it 100 times. True leadership has got to come from within. And I'm seeing just a lack of good leadership. And leadership is how things, just to the next level, man. Like, great leaders believe they work for their team for their team. Average leaders believe their team works for them. Mind blown. We need more people like that are not looking out for their personal interests, but for the greater good of everybody. We need more leaders, man. Great leaders don't tell you what to do. They show you how it's done. I love this one. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. She does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the quality of hers action and the integrity of his intent. Got to keep it neutral, man. She. There's a big difference between being the boss of something and being a leader. A boss can just tell you what to do. They don't inspire. We need more inspiration. We need more people to make a difference. We need more people that are not scared to make the tough calls. We're not getting it from these politicians, people. We are not. We're getting bullshit information. We're getting just rhetoric that's not true. You can't keep it straight. The cream always rises to the crop. All right, the cream always rises to the top. We got to pay more attention to this. I just wish there was more leaders out there that were genuine, that actually cared about the greater rather than for their personal sake. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim is fulfilled. They will say, "We did it ourselves." True leaders don't create followers. They create more leaders. Most of these big, successful guys that you see out there, I'm not going to name names, but you know what I'm talking about. They read into what they're about. They're about making other people successful. They're about branching off and not wanting them to be the head. They want other people that are just as successful as they are, and they want that. They're not looking at everybody as an enemy. They're being smart. They want to create leaders. They have values. Integrity is a big one. Discipline is a big one. To sum it up very simply, just be a good person, man. Worry about others. Don't try to get by. And sadly, this is based on just specific news networks. We're not getting good leadership, people. You know it. I know it. You can sit here and try to politic it all you want. The leadership is not good. It hasn't been good for a while. And it wears on you. It just doesn't give you that belief. Maybe we know too much. But I still feel like being inspired is a good thing. Being inspired. So you're not going to get it from politicians. So look around. They're everywhere. Doesn't have to be anybody. And just because they're rich doesn't mean they're a leader. Leaders are everywhere. You could be the stock clerk at Walmart. And you can be a leader because you lead, you do the work, and people follow. They're everywhere. And I feel like they need more attention. So if you're out there, you're doing your daily grind, you come across somebody that inspires you, and as a leader, let them know. Let them know. Tell them you appreciate them. Tell them they got the qualities. There's not enough out there, man. There's too much. I'm sick of letting the sketchy shit be the one that rises to the top right now. Not the cream of the crop. We got to focus and put our efforts into things that matter. Not who makes the best fucking TikTok video. Nothing against TikTok, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. We need better leadership. Attitude reflects leadership, as so eloquently put in Remember the Titans, and you know what I'm talking about. Allergies, man. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. It's the last one I'm going to say. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the success. Just food for thought, man. Just keeping it moving. To all those leaders out there, I salute you. Keep going, man. Your work and who you are will shine at the end of the day. Ebbs and flows, man. Peaks and valleys. It's not always going to be that time. Like a true leader to me, right? In Tennessee's owner, I was reading the article where, she's big here in Nashville and Tennessee and over in Gatlinburg. Dolly Parton. Got to give her a shout out. Dolly Parton, to cover full tuition for all of our employees, is encouraging our employees to pursue their education. Feel good story, man. That's good. Big ups to Dolly Parton. You're a big deal here. She's going to be hosting, I think, some awards. It's going to be on Prime Video. I saw you can look it up. I don't know all the details. I just thought that was pretty cool to cover full tuition, not just what corporations will do sometimes when they're like, we'll give you 10%. We'll take a little bit off, but we still want you to spend all your time here rather than bettering yourself. It's all false rhetoric. Big up to Dolly Parton for that. So, I mean, that's key. Let them get their schoolwork. Let them become educated and smarter. Hashtag less dumb. Less dumb. Not completely not dumb, just less dumb. Baby steps, first steps, dominoes. You get it. Big ups to her, man. That was good. Like, I really appreciate people that do that, and I wish more people would take initiative like that to put those feel-good stories out into the world. We need those. See what else? There was another one on here I wanted to talk about. Big news. Big news. Humpback whales are no longer endangered in Australia. Growing up, I thought endangered species would be more of a thing. I just remember being in elementary school when stuff was like eagles and cougars and panthers were on the endangered list, and it used to it would ruin my day thinking about these animals being killed and dying and not being around anymore. Humpback whales have been removed from Australia's threatened species list after a significant increase in numbers because they hooked up with the sperm whales. I'm done. Humpback whales are no longer endangered in Australia. Some feel-good shit out there, man. There's good news on top of all the bad shit. It's my whole point to all this. It's not all dire. It's not all crazy. It's not all, There's good stuff out there. You just got to look for it. Just like you got to look for the leaders. You got to look for the positive stuff. And when you see it, let it be known, man. Words are powerful. Words can make a difference. Words can make somebody's day. You don't know what that person's going through. You give them a compliment or just acknowledge them, that could turn them in the whole different direction. It works on me all the time. Whenever I get a compliment, I don't really know how to handle them that well. But when I get a compliment, it does. It hits you right here. Hit you right in the heart. Right in the heart. All right, what's next? I got an odd news story. This one is kind of weird, but I wanted to talk about it anyway because it's just interesting, man. Like, the world is full of all this craziness. Like, there's a guy, he's a free diver. So he broke the Guinness Book of World Records takes a 351-foot underwater walk. Why? He's a Croatian freediver. He went for a walk underwater and broke a Guinness World Record by traveling more than 350 feet on a single breath. His name is Vitomir Maricic. Took the record for longest underwater walk with one breath, 351 feet. He completed the walk in 3 minutes and 6 seconds. That is crazy. Who comes up with these world records? I'm about to start looking some up and see if I can do them. Bro. Just to have somebody else break it. And on this story I could not get out of my head, and no pun intended once I say everything. So there's this story out of Denver. Box of human heads stolen from Denver truck. You did not hear me wrong. I'm way ahead of you. A thief who broke into a freight truck in Denver this week made out with some cargo. A box of human heads. According to a release from the Denver Police Department, the truck was parked in East Denver when someone broke in sometime between 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday. The unknown suspect stole a dolly and a box labeled exempt human specimen. The box was full of human heads meant to be used for medical research. Could you? That's what you get for stealing shit, man. You were definitely not the head of your class. Science Care is a program for donating bodies to science for research and educational purposes. At this point, no arrests have been made, and investigators are working to gather more information and recover the stolen heads. So if you know of anybody in Denver, if you do that, report it to the authorities. Get ahead of it. I promise you he was not head of his class. He's not. Talk about a box full of headstrong people. He's not very heady. Head. Sputnik. Yeah. What do you do with those when you get home? Why wouldn't you just toss those things? Some people, man. Some people crazy in the head. Ba-dum-bum. Oh, Coach K had his last game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, and it was emotional, even though they got whooped by North Carolina. I like Coach K. He's like 70. He's 75 years old, though. He's got 5 national titles, 12 Final Fours, 15 ACC tournament championships, and 13 ACC regular season titles. Dude is one of the best coaches, Team USA basketball, the whole nine. Had his last game at Cameron Indoor, and that's always been a bucket list arena for me to go to. I wish I would have went to a game when he was there, because that place is insane, even if you don't like Duke, because there's a lot of teams that don't like people that don't like Duke. But I do, because I like Michael Williams-Krzyzewski, and he stands at 5'10". 5'10", Coach K. 5'10". He's not even the tallest coach in basketball. The tallest coach that I was able to find, where is he? Larry Krystkowiak. He coached Utah. He's 6 foot. He was 6'9". So it's crazy. I think Bill Cartwright coached in college too, so he was 7'1". So he's probably technically the tallest coach. And you got Patrick Ewing, who's coaching Georgetown. How tall is Pat? Does anybody know how tall Patrick Ewing is? Huh, producers? Patrick Ewing? You don't know? Well, we're going to find out here live and direct. Well, live for recording purposes. Patrick Ewing, because he's coaching Georgetown, who won their thing, I don't know if Big East big with no wins in their conference. How stupid is that? Patrick Ewing. Oh, all right, hold on. Oh, no. That's Patrick Ewing Jr. Patrick. Okay, I was going to say Patrick Ewing's 7 foot. So he's the tallest coach. Patrick Ewing. Yeah, so big ups to Coach K. I hope Duke can make a run. I wouldn't even mind seeing them win a title in his final year. It's just hard to believe. He's 75. That guy hopefully Duke can withstand all the new stuff coming up. But in terms of integrity, the right person, leadership, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. Coach K, man. He leads by example. He takes things when it's on him. He'll own it. Making mistakes and owning it is the only way to get by on it. Never deflect, never play victim, never play on anybody else. And he teaches that. And that's why Duke's been so successful for so long. On the flip side of that, we got people like Derek Jeter, who's no longer in his position with the Miami Marlins, different directions. So with him leaving, it opens up a wide opening down in Miami. The Miami Marlins, they're rated the 4th best farm system, so they do have talent there. So I don't know what drove him out of there. Maybe it was just a way to get them hyped. But he's no longer there. I have a feeling he'll end up with the Yankees in some way, shape, or form, either as a scout or doing something along those lines. But yeah, he's no longer in Miami, which is crazy. That's all right. He's still living the life with his model wife and kid and all that kind of stuff. He's fine. He's fine. He's loaded and he's friends with the big dogs. He's fine. Miami Marlins, what are y'all doing, man? You got that big old stadium down there in this shitty neighborhood, and you guys, they're just giving away players. I get it. I'm a Rays fan. I understand. Be glad you live in America, man. Be glad you live in America. Brittney Griner, the WNBA star, former college standout, is detained in Russia, man. Russia. For having a cannabis cartridge, aka pen. She was found in the airport in Russia, and holy shit, that is a 10-year sentence up to in Russia. I don't want to hear about, this is just another example. This is what drives me nuts when I'm all for you having your own opinions on things. I'm all for you believing in a certain way, but the anti-America shit has got to be neutralized. Just calm it down. Be proud of this country you live in. There's a lot more good here than you think. Politicians will never want you. I'm so sick of talking about politicians, but it's true. Everybody, we have the word. You imagine going to jail for being caught with a pen or a weed cartridge right now for 10 years? That's what's happening in Russia. And I guarantee with all this stuff going on, this is playing into it. They got a celebrity that's making the news. I hope Brittney Griner can get out of there. I really do. Poor thing. Like I in the airport just with a weed cartridge. Brittney Griner 6'9", by the way. 6'9". She's the only NCAA basketball player to score 2,000 points and block 500 shots, aka beast. So let's hope she gets out of there. Let's hope over a pen. Wasn't anything crazy. A pen, a cartridge. That I love when they use shit like cannabis or what they make it seem like it's this big bad thing. Get over cannabis is not bad. If alcohol, you can't say vodka and then say it just doesn't make sense. And that's going on all around the world. So before you think about that, think about what you do on a daily basis, and if that is anything you want. Think about other countries, man. There's other countries that cut off limbs. We're fucking crying about pronouns. Okay. Gee to the zus. You need to be more careful, man. I was reading about STDs. It's alarming, people. It is alarming. So I want to give you some statistics to prevent you from having the itch, from preventing you from having to get medicine. Just keep in mind, and I'm only going to put this out there for you to know. I was surprised, per capita, what state has the most cases of STD, syphilis, gonorrhea, the whole nine, herpes, Because this shit's everywhere, especially right now in the Tinder age. You just never know. So I want people in these states to listen up, pay attention. The top 5 states with the highest sexually transmitted rates per 100,000 people. I'm going to give you the top 5 right now. Number 5, New Mexico. What is going on out in New Mexico? I love New Mexico. I had a great vacation out there. And this is something that you should know if you're going out there. They're getting after it and just letting it rip, Number 4, South Carolina. Not North Carolina, but those Southerners go down. And that joke didn't work as well as I thought it would. But you get the gist. South Carolina's number 4. Number 3, Louisiana. Louisiana, baby. Number 3. Number 2, right along in the South, Mississippi. Mississippi. Number 1 blew my mind because you think Mississippi, Louisiana, Southern people, get it together, man. What is going on in the South? I thought you had the Bible Belt and you had all this, down Southern homeness. What is going on? Stop banging each other. Or find out first. Stop just letting it, you're just spreading the itch. Stop the itch. Stop the dumb. We can be better people. I believe in everybody. Number 1, though, bet you I didn't know this. Number 1 for sexually transmitted rates is Alaska. Yes, I said that correctly. Alaska is the number 1 per 100,000 people. Isn't that crazy? What is going on up there in the frozen state? Which is not far from Russia and how they can get over here. So if they invade, start looking. Let's infect them. Let's get them itchy. Itchy soldiers don't make for attentive soldiers, I promise you. Yeah, so that was very curious. Highest in chlamydia, Alaska. Lowest chlamydia rates, West Virginia. Who would have thought? States with the lowest rates of reported chlamydia: West Virginia, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Utah. They got it figured out up there, man. I don't know what's going on. When you're talking about gonorrhea, Mississippi #1. Lowest rates, Vermont. I mean, what is going on? The Northeast, way to keep it in-house. Way to keep doing what you're doing. I don't know if you guys got, you know. Now, this one does not surprise me. #1 in syphilis, Nevada. Viva Las Vegas. Syphilis. Lowest rate, Vermont. Vermont's holding it down, man. If you go into Vermont, you can pretty much be okay doing anything. My point of all this is it's everywhere, people. Just be mindful. My mom was a nurse. She showed me what herpes was at a very early age, and it stuck with me. That's why I've been itch-free for forever. Never had an issue. I just don't want to see that happen to you, beautiful people. One It's All on Instagram. oneitall.buzzsprout.com. Make sure you go follow, like, comment, subscribe so you can get all the STD facts that you could ever want in your life. New episodes every week. And I want to take a minute to shout out my boy, Tony Mendoza. He just started a new podcast called Potential Isn't Proven. It's on all Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Go support my guy. He's putting in that work. He's got a lot better videos than I do. This guy's doing it. Go follow Potential Isn't Proven. He's going to be on the show in the next week or two. So stay on the lookout for that. Very excited to have that guy on. It's going to be very, 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 very exciting. I'm approaching episode 40 here. I'm starting to everything's going to start coming together here shortly. By the second half, by the time I get closer to my 100th episode, everything's going to be cruising and grooving, baby. Fuck allergies, man. Oh, man. All right, a couple things. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Going to bring back Bucko Bruce next year. Finally. I wish we would have brought back the orange and white when we had Brady. I thought that would have been a cool look. Bring it back to orange and white. What once was frowned upon with the orange and white because it was losing is now being regarded as like one of the coolest logos, one of the coolest throwbacks. It's funny how that turns, right? It's funny how history just has a way of turning things around when you just let things happen. So I'm very excited for that. Get to see the old orange and white back next year. I hope they do it for more than one game, and I hope they keep it moving forward because those creamsicle uniforms, in my personal opinion, are the shit. I love the Bucko Bruce. Got the hat, Yeah, I'm very, 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 very much looking forward to that. I just read, too, that they're making an I Am Legend 2. It's official. Will Smith announced it. Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan will be the stars. Talk about a combo. Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan, this is for real. It's not a hoax. I looked it up. It's real. They will be doing an I Am Legend 2. They have the same director from the first one. And I just don't kill the dog this time, man. It's the only thing about that first movie. I can't get past that part, man. When the dog went down, and just knowing, even the second time I watched it, just knowing that dog's gonna go down, it was tough on me. I don't handle that very well. I don't handle even though I know it's not real. I don't handle animals dying on anything. You could wipe out the human race in a movie, and I'm like, okay, I can see that happening. You take out one dog or one cat or one anything. I don't even care if it's a duck-billed platypus. If that thing dies and I see it, it's hard to respond after that. It's hard to rally. I Am Legend 2. And I've been big on this. Snoop Dogg's bringing back Death Row Records. And for all my old school hip-hop heads, do you remember the Dog Pound, Daz, Corrupt? They announced they're doing a new album. They're going to be releasing it on Death Row, Snoop Dogg's Ran company. He's got the rights to Dr. Dre's Chronic, and then he's working on releasing some Pac masters, Tupac, for you youngins. Pretty excited about that. I was a big Death Row guy back in the day. Always good to have the nostalgia back. Always good. I feel like this is a good business opportunity. And if anybody can make it work, it is Snoop D-O Double Jizzle. The Double Dizzle. Snoopy Deal Dub. I read something. So, have you ever wondered if the dog and cat years thing is a real deal? Well, I have. Because, I mean, the only thing about dogs and cats is that they only live for a certain amount of time, which is a buzzkill. So I was like, is that 7-year thing? Have you ever heard that? Well, every 7 years is 1 year, you know? But it turns out that it's different than you think. So as a general guideline, the American Veterinary Medical Association breaks it down like this. 15 human years equals the first year of a medium-sized dog's life. Year 2 for a dog equals about 9 years for a human. And after that, each year would be approximately 5 years for a dog. 15 for the first year. Year 2 equals about 9. So, I mean, they age quick. Those first years, where you think about how they're growing, it's just, you know, and each human year will be approximately 5 years after that. So based on that chart, right, based on what I'm seeing here, I wonder if they have this chart pulled up. Okay, so if your dog is, say, 6 years old, right, and it has different weights and everything. So if your dog is between 21 to 50 pounds, we'll just do that. They're 5 years old and human years are 36. And each have to have 42, 47, 51. So by year, if you've had your dog for 10 years, across the board, they're in their 50s. And if it's a big dog, they're close to 80. And that's tough, man. That's tough. Now, cats are a little different. They live a little bit longer. The first year of a cat's life is equal to about 15 years, so they age quickly as well. The second year is equal to about 9. And then the second year of each year after that is equal to about 4 human years. So it balances out so that once they mature, they go to about 4 years. But cats typically live a lot longer. I've seen cats live to 20, 30 years. The oldest cat on record that I looked up, this is a fun fact for you, the oldest cat on record ever recorded was 31 years old. 31. We had a Himalayan that lived to about 22, and that was crazy. But the last year or two is pretty much just breathing, you know, like it had allergies nonstop. Yeah, I've always wondered about that. So the first year, your animal is just aging rapidly, you know, Benjamin Button opposite, just before you know it. I got a cat, and she's 12 or 13 right now. So she's roughly about 69 years old, but she moves like a 12-year-old. She flies around the house as healthy as ever. So, you know, it's all about how you take care of them. It's all about how you treat them. You know, it's just nobody wants to see animals die. Nobody. And, you know, look at your pet right now if you're sitting here listening to this, and just give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Animals make the world go round. Like, I just love it. Driving around there today, especially being in real estate, you're just nonstop on the move, and anytime you can encounter any kind of animal at a house, at a coffee shop, or anything like that, it just makes everything. One, it's all on Instagram. One, it's all about buzzsprout.com. I just grateful, man. Just grateful. And if you've made it to this far in the show, you have no idea what that means to me. Please go download. Please go subscribe. Please go just comment, just anything. Even if it's making fun of me or doing something, just comment. I got big ideas for the show. We're going to start opening things up more. I'm going to be getting a YouTube channel, more it's just going to we're working on some things here. It's just slow progress. As you can see, if you're not watching, but I record in my garage right now. I got a whole little thing set up, and that's part of the hustle, right? You got to start somewhere like this, back of your house, back somewhere. Eventually get to the studio. Eventually build your own thing. It's all part of the process, man. The process is fun. I finally understand that. It's all about that process. I'm just so grateful for everybody that's taken time to listen. So grateful for all my friends, all my family, for everybody that I know directly. And to anybody down the line that I'm going to meet, I'm already excited to meet y'all, man. I'm already excited to talk with you, have a conversation. If you got any interest to be on the show, hit me up. Got some big guests coming on. Like I said, I got my buddy Tony coming on soon. I got a lot of people coming on. My buddy Brad. We're going to have Jim back on again. We're going to have Austin back on again. We're going to have my buddy Nick back on again. I got JT coming on again. I got my buddy Matt coming on again. Then I got to get some female perspective on here too. So if you're out there listening to this and you want to be on, I'd love to talk to you if you want to get that female perspective. You don't have to be tall. Tall is just the name to get. Just a play on words for the show, you know. When you're tall, you got to let everybody know. Because regardless, big or small, everybody wants it tall. Thank you again for listening to me. Next episode is technically number 40, and I'm pumped about that. I'm going to try to make that a bigger episode. Go that route. I have so much fun doing this. Every time I get a chance to record, I always get that little, ooh, it's just fun. It's my internal way to do what I'm doing. And make it mine. Make it, just go for it. Like I started the episode off, I'm going to finish it. It's about taking that first step. Just take the step. What's the worst that can happen? Even if something bad happens, you'll be all right. Like if you want to start a podcast, just start it. Just talk into a microphone and record it. If you want to go play a sport, go play a sport. Sign up for a league. It's not that hard to do. Saying you don't have time or playing a victim, come on, man. Be honest with yourself. I just encourage you to always be willing to take that step and always, always stand tall. Stand tall. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I love you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. This has been episode number 39. And once again, I'm very, very grateful for everybody. One, it's all on Instagram. One, it's all.buzzsprout.com. Please, if you like the show, go download, comment, like, subscribe, wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast. Just very grateful. Thank you for listening. Like I said before, stand tall. Stand tall. Stand tall. You are not a victim. And I'll be back next time. I love you guys. See you.
Yeah. Hip hop and jazz. Yeah. What? Jazz, hip hop, bond like fusion. Slow grooving sounds that get the crowd moving. So for your amusement, we come to play a little Kenny G, a little Miles D, a little Sade. I get busy when I listen to Dizzy and relax when I hear Coltrane on sax. In fact, I feel my loneliness with keys from Thelonious Monk. Anytime, day or night, week or month. So don't try to front like it's something you don't want. It's jazz music, y'all. Yeah, it's jazz music.
Play this groove here all night long, cause it makes me wanna move my feet. I really love my jazz when it's played with the hip-hop beat.
Hip-hop and jazz.
The rhythm's got me moving, grooving, all up in this song.
Hip-hop and jazz, what?
Add a little hip-hop flavor,
Jazz
makes me wanna listen to it all night long.
See, I'm not into fashion, but I like my Louis. Don't follow hoops, but I do follow Duke Ellington. Remember when music had soul? Vinyl wax seemed every track solid gold. You hold a firm place in my memory. I hear the strings ring, hear Ella sing. That's chemistry. Simply melodic.